Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter tabletop game project every weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and give my honest thoughts on how that project's being ran. Today I'm very excited to check out the second most popular project in all of games. That is The Last of Us: Escape the Dark, a board game with a dark twist on the critically acclaimed video game series by Themeborn. So I chose this one when I found it because I was like, wow, this is going to absolutely explode because The Last of Us is an immensely popular PlayStation game. Many people hail it as one of the greatest games of all time. I've never played it, and I've actually never spoiled it. I wonder if that's going to get ruined today. But anywho, I'm excited to check this one out. The main image really doesn't do it for me at all. I see like this is probably a bad guy from the game, but that's good. I'd like to know the player length, the time count, the age, the mechanisms, something about the game aside from, oh yeah, it's a Last of Us game. And the other thing that I want to mention here is, I'm kind of surprised this one hasn't launched off more. And now you're saying $200,000. That's a lot of money. It is, but this is a video game IP, and I'm used to seeing them, like for instance with Slay the Spire, doing a lot more. So I'm curious to see what this one is not quite doing. To tickle the backers as much. So first things first, they were trying to raise $137,000. That is a huge chunk of cash. Already got it. $241,000 raised. As always, when you go in the video, I'm thinking three things: do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? But now, because you didn't tell me, I also like to know the mechanisms, the time limit, the age, all that good stuff, because it's important. Now that box, honestly, I would not be a fan of this as the main image on the Kickstarter campaign, but I would be a much bigger fan of this as the main image on the Kickstarter campaign than what we got. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Love the music, brings me back. Ooh, Naughty Dog. Yeah, spotlight that. Ooh, cards. That's a nice looking player board.
To bring The Last of Us to tabletop, we've
Love the subtitles in the bottom.
developed a new evolution of the Escape the Dark engine, where you play a group of survivors, beginning the game together in a quarantine zone and trying to make your way to safety together. And what happens from there is up to you. I think...
Oh, it's a cooperative game. So immediately, I feel like that should be mentioned on the marquee somewhere, that this is in fact a cooperative game. Now, you might infer that based on the video game, but that should just be laid out in plain sight.
I think what excited players most is the open world aspect.
Okay, I like that board. I like how they kind of scrolled out to it right as they were saying it's an open world style game to really kind of drive home what I'm seeing here. And I think they did a good job of that. You can explore from place to place. There's routes to get to them. I like this. This is looking good. Howdy, Keneal.
I think what will excite players most is the open world aspect. I love being able to make my own choices and choose where I go and find out what the consequences of my actions are.
As players explore these locations, they'll learn intel and clues.
I want to read some of that. The way forward is blocked by a Fedra checkpoint. You notice the barricades have sustained heavy damage. Choose one option. Sneak through a gap in the barricade. All survivors present must roll. Bribe the guards. Cool. So this is what I want to see. That's good stuff. That gets me excited.
Intel and clues.
Survivors camp. New action rest. So we're going to get new action. So it's action selection, making interesting choices, cooperative games. These are all things that I feel like really should be conveyed at the beginning. This just those words alone get me interested in the game.
About the road ahead, and this will help them strategically plot their route through the game. There's a constant threat of the spread of the infected as they swarm across the map, and as locations get overrun, the routes between those locations can get blocked off.
You'll be cooperatively facing awful...
Ooh, giving some heavy Dead of Winter vibes right there.
Horrible combat against any number of infected, alongside different puzzles, traps and challenges. You'll need to craft certain items using craft materials, and that's going to help you survive alongside weapon upgrades.
We wanted character development to be part of a game because that is the central focus of the Last of Us series, and we did that by introducing character hang-ups.
Each of the survivors begins the game with a hang-up, something that's holding them back from their true potential as a character. Each individual player will be trying to carry out a unique sequence of actions to overcome their hang-up, and if they can do that, they become a much more powerful version of that character.
Huh.
The Escape the Dark series
So you start sucky, but then you can get better than sucky. Oh, okay, cool.
has always been about atmosphere, and that's something we've absolutely retained here.
The post-apocalyptic situations and the disgusting, horrific monsters that you encounter really pair well with that kind of gritty, visceral style of the Black.
Didn't feel like there was much on that card.
Monsters that you encounter.
Okay.
Really pair well with that kind of gritty, visceral style of the black and white ink. So it's been great to be able to present a new style to Last of Us fans and a way of seeing their game.
There's not a lot of text on those cards, on the story cards.
The Last of Us Escape the Dark gives you the chance to weave your own story in this amazing setting and answer the age-old question, what would you do? How will you survive?
Okay. I want you to punch me in the face with how many of these choice cards I'm getting, because that seems like that's going to be the big selling point. If it says 80 cards versus 300 cards, it's a very different game to me. Alright, cool, officially licensed, looks good. Like to know more about that board. Looks simple, but I want to know more. It does. It does. So, do I want it after that? As someone who's not a fan of the game, I'm intrigued by the game. As someone who is a fan of the game, I don't feel like I'm 100% sold there. I don't feel like it's an insta-back for me. I still don't know the player count. Is this just a two-player game? Because that's fine if it's just a two-player game. But I still need to know. A small creative studio with theme-first attitude based in Norwich, UK. So they've done 6 projects as well. Strike HQ, Escape the Dark Sector. Escape the Dark Castle. Escape the Dark... Okay, so they've done other stuff. Are these board games? Just making sure people got their stuff. Spare parts have begun shipping. Spare cards. Production problems and solutions. We're sorry, we apologize. This project has suffered some production issues. Customer satisfaction is very important to us. So it looks like they're handling the customer service issues. Fulfillment of all remaining orders. Do it. So this was 2 months ago. Well, that's the pinned comment. So it's the most recent comment. I only got the upgrade. So yeah, it looks like people are getting their stuff. Cool. That guy needs some help. But it looks like they're in here. They're communicating. Good. That's what you want to see here, because this is the can you do it aspect of it. Always got to convince backers that you can do it. Please rate the app. People got their stuff. I forwarded my app receipt to get reimbursed, but haven't heard anything back yet. Over a year ago. So a year ago is the last thing they had. And look at this. Customer service looks solid. They're responding to everything. So good. Can you do it? Yes, I feel comfortable. Not to mention they're working near with Naughty Dog, however you want to put it. So The Last of Us. Escape the Dark. It's a 1 to 5 player game? What? Nothing at all that you have showed me in this video or in that main description prepared me for the fact this is 1 to 5 players. I in no way, shape, or form thought this was a 5-player game. I was honestly setting myself to be disappointed that this was a 2-player game. Okay, 1 to 5 players, 60 minutes. Whether you're returning back or just discovering Theme Board for the first time, welcome. It's great to have you with us. We're beyond excited to announce our latest game working closely with Naughty Dog. So we have the Standard Edition, we have the Collector's Edition, which comes with 2 little minis that just replace the pawns that move around the board otherwise. Okay, so there's the pledged levels. I love the prices right here. I don't see why we got to beat around the bush here. Good thing you look back at back projects to see what they've done, if they delivered, and backers are pissed or not. Many backers don't look at it. Pretty important. Yeah, like I used to not look at those as much, and then I got burned on a couple ones where I was like, this looks great. And I was like, ooh. The Last of Us Escape the Dark is a new board game of atmospheric adventure set in the world of the critically acclaimed Naughty Dog. I get it. Carefully plot your route through the troubled landscape, resolving immersive chapter cards. So are 5 people controlling those 2? I've been a massive fan of Theme Board's Escape the Dark board games. Escape the Dark Castle grabbed me with its bold black and white illustrations, compelling RPG mechanics, and interesting narrative choices. So this is pretty much saying, hey, we're excited that they're making our game. What makes the Escape the Dark system different? The Last of Us Escape the Dark is based on the multi-award-winning Escape the Dark series, as much as it shares many of the same core values. It's simple. Cool. So there's a system. They've done stuff before. Seal of approval. Tabletop Gaming Awards. UK Games Dice Games. Oh, I want to play this. I didn't realize it was a dice game. Okay, this is what I like to see here. That makes me feel way more comfortable in the Can You Do It. What's in the box? So we're looking at $65. Standard edition cover art, 40 extra large cards, 100 small cards, final challenge cards, item cards, 40 customized. So we're getting 140 cards, grand total. Okay. It's not a huge number, especially with how little I saw on the cards. Tokens and markers, the collector's edition. So this one, it's a big jump up. Holy crawly, that's that is $34. All right, convince me, $34 why I need this one. And it's so far I see a fancy box of 2 minis. Oh no, there's 6 minis. You get Joel. Look at that. Look at Joel. He can spin. You get Ellie. You get Tess to be revealed. Bill to be revealed. Tommy to be revealed. So what they're doing is, instead of actually showing you all this stuff, potentially in the video, I would imagine, they're waiting so they can sprinkle it throughout the Kickstarter campaign, but they don't want to get blowback from people saying, oh, there's not enough stuff here to warrant the value. They're like, oh, here's the stuff, but we're not going to show it to you until some artificial time period. What on earth did the minis add? Nothing, I do believe. They just had those little tokens that you move around the board, and now they're minis. Clicker miniatures. Upgraded threat tokens. So instead of the tokens, you now have these. Upgraded dual-layer player boards. Okay, that's nice. Dual-layer calendar boards. Hard plastic dice and token storage trays. Okay. Add-ons. Playmat. So 25. Yeah, this isn't great. Like, this doesn't feel... That doesn't feel $99 to me. This also doesn't feel like fantastic to me. So I can go up to, I don't know, just that disconnect between the video. There was no way I was expecting this to be a 5-player game. I'm pleasantly surprised, but how does that work? I need a gameplay video. I need the rule booklet. How do you play? You create the map. Create a unique adventure for each game by shuffling the chapter cards, camp cards, and stashed item cards. Cool. I do like that. So lots of variability going on. Place threats. Cool. Doesn't even feel $65 to me for the normal. Huckleberry, I agree. It didn't really feel $65 to me either, gameplay-wise. You know, it's $5 over MSRP, but granted, MSRP is getting, higher and higher with inflation. I understand that. It still didn't feel that. It just, yeah. This, and especially, and here's the other thing. This is something that they really have up against their back. You know this game is probably going to be something you can get in retail. Like, this feels so much like a game you'd pick up at GameStop. And so they really have to convince us otherwise. Unfortunately, that's just the way Kickstarter is. Kerrigan Retailer, you have to get the deluxe that won't be in retail, but it's a big-ass no gameplay video. Oh, no! Oh, gosh, Zenster! There's no gameplay video? Like, nothing? I assume there's, like, no preview videos or nothing. There's no game... So we had this. They're talking about how the combat works. Cool. This is all good stuff. I'm just looking for videos and shipping. Videos, shipping, quotes, safe at last, turn over now. So that's it. That's all we get. Ugh. To make sure your game is well packaged and delivered as properly as possible, we'll be operating dedicated shipping hubs in both the UK and the USA. We are UK, Australia friendly. We'll pay no extra charges or VATs. That's fantastic. Alright, so shipping. So now we're up to an $82 game. Ow! No! No! I'd go $82 for the collector's edition. But no, that's sitting at $100. Jesus, it's down at $75. Oh, damn! We subsidize VAT in U.S. and non-U.S. backers. Look, I was expecting to be $50 when I saw the components. Yeah, this is rough. So, grand total, you're looking at 90, so $95-ish dollars? No way! I understand that you have to pay a premium to have an intellectual property game like The Last of Us, but, oh, no, 95. And then for the premium, you're looking around $140? No chance in hell! Like, that just kills it for me. How much is it? Because the bottom line is, they were already up against the gun of people being like, why don't I just go get in retail? And then this feels so much higher than retail. Just the $75 price point alone. I'd be like, yeah, I could probably go get that in about 6 months after it's released, 3 months after it's released for cheaper than that. And then, oh, wow. And then there's no gameplay. There's no rule booklet. Okay, but I got to go check this out. I want to check the Board Game Geeksters real quick. I saw it had a dice tower, seal of approval. Let's check it out. I want to see what other people are saying about it, because they don't have quotes. Like, that's the other thing too. Where's the quotes about, like, this system? Like, if this was a game that was released that has a system, where's the quotes telling me how this is amazing? Like, you could probably just get people, like, here's a quote for you. I'm so excited how their system is going to work together with The Last of Us, because it's one of my favorite games of all time, blah, blah, blah. Wow, that's so interesting to me. So I'm gonna get through another game, and then we're gonna get into the FAQ, the updates, comments. Why is this on Kickstarter? That's a lot. There's a long. What are you doing here? Crowdfunding is kind. Yeah, okay. Okay. Which language solely can we get your back catalog here? Escape the Dark Castle. Here we go. So Escape the Dark. Let's see how these ones are. Escape the Dark Castle, 2017. What's rated? Ooh, that's nice. 1356. Okay, 2 games in the top 2,500. You know, and this is something we lean on here. 2 of the top 500 thematic games of all time. We're taking the system from 2 of the top 500 thematic games of all time, or Escape the Whatever system, and we're going to breathe The Last of Us in with our system. It's going to be a beautiful, because that's essentially what the person from Naughty Dog Games was trying to say in that one quote. But it doesn't come with, like, I don't want it from you. I want it from you. I know that you're not going to tell me anything negative about this game because you're trying to sell me the game in a degree. Welcome, one and all, to our crowdfunding campaign for our new board game, The Last of Us Escape the Dark. So this just launched. We're expecting a lot of newcomers to be joining us, so we personally kept this campaign nice and simple. There are just 2 great pledge levels, no flashy stretch goals, and a couple of quality of life add-ons for who. Oh, no! Oh, okay. So, when I go through a Kickstarter campaign, there's always the do I want it, the can you do it, and then the how much is it. But then there's the other things that are not as crucial, and one of those big ones is, why do I come back? And I don't see why I come back to this campaign. I know you're going to show me more miniatures. I know they're going to be nice, drop-dead, gorgeous, detailed, whatever miniatures. Whoa. So no gameplay? You're just going to do minis? Yikes indeed, Zenster. The comment section of the campaign page will be a great place for you all to connect with other backers and share the excitement for the project. Please remember to always be respectful to each other, to blah, blah, blah. Now, at last, for us, hype for this. So are we. Thank you for batching. Okay. So, hopefully in the updates to get people engaged is specifically about The Last of Us. Ask some questions. So we got back catalog pin, cover art pin. So this is a newer feature. Thanks for sharing thoughts on which you would prefer. If we reach a sufficient level of funding, it may be possible to offer backers of the collector's list the choice between the 2 styles or a slip. Oh, you mean like a stretch goal? Maybe you shouldn't completely just write them off when you see another video game. And I think Slay the Spire, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in chat, is less popular than The Last of Us. Now, I know The Last of Us is exclusive to PlayStation, but making over $2 million, I feel like you don't just say right from the gut, stretch goals. No, we're not doing that. Some games are just better as video games. The crossover doesn't work every time. Well, this game looks like a fun one. Like the whole choose your own path sort of style game as a cooperative game. That's a fun one to do. Wow. You know what? The pinned comments. I'm not a big fan of these anymore. I really kind of hate these because it kind of just drowns out the real, like, most recent comment. Never hit the back it button so hard before. Collector Edition. This is already the most responsive, considerate Kickstarter campaign. So they're doing great on the Can You Do It, which is fantastic. Tell that to Steamforged Games and their Dark Souls. LOL. Steamforged Games. That's such an interesting company. Okay. Anywho, final grade on The Last of Us Escape the Dark. And I'm very curious to see how many new people has this brought in. 556. Howie Maui. That's a great number right there. Kudos to them. So, do I want it? Not really. Not with that price, because I gotta combine do I want it and how much is it, and I don't think you convinced me nearly enough on the do I want it with the how much is it, because the how much is it seems expensive before we get to the shipping, and you don't have a gameplay video up, you don't have a rule booklet video up, you don't have a quote, you don't have a preview, you don't have anything up, and maybe it's because you're going to sprinkle them throughout the campaign because we want to keep up the buzz throughout the middle part. No, more at the beginning. There's going to be 50 new games that are launched on board games until next Tuesday that are gunning for your spot here on the top of the popularity chart. I hate the main image. I feel like this right here was such an like a poor choice. I feel like at the very minimum, you show me the Last of Us box that I know. The 1 to 5 player count, the cooperative game. There's so much that could have been conveyed on that main image that was not conveyed at all. And it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. So do I want it? I don't know. How much is it? Way too much. Can you do it? Yeah, I felt comfortable there. That's not really a concern of mine. So final grades. Jeremy's going D+. Price, no video. I don't feel like I have a great grasp. No reason to buy now. Huckleberry's going C-. I want it to be a C-, but too much wrong. Yeah, I gotta, like, this is The Last of Us. All right, I'm going to check out one last thing. Before I give my grade, I want to check out one very interesting thing. We're going to check out The Last of Us copies sold. And then we're going to check out Slay the Spire copies sold. All right, Slay the Spire. So 1.5 million copies around the world. And The Last of Us had 1.3 million copies within the first 7 days of its release. Yeah, I'm going D+ here. I can't dip into the C- on that. That's D. It doesn't pass the C grade. LOL. Yeah, so we're The Last of Us Escape the Dark. Honestly, I feel like it maybe just a relaunch. You know, I know that sounds crazy. They made $250,000, but like, they're gonna retcon. What they're gonna do is they're gonna retcon everything on. They're gonna be like, all right, here's this video, here's this thing, as you go through the campaign. But I don't feel like that's the same as just having all your ducks in a row right at the beginning, and you got to catch lightning in a bottle in Kickstarter. And I don't feel like they're gonna do that. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. What's your final grade for The Last of Us Escape the Dark? And as always, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below as I'm trying to reach 15,000 subscribers. Have a great day.